Hello everyone, it is Mark Berman from TVMI. I am at the Summer Television Critics Association press tour in Los Angeles. I am back with my friend and my colleague, Ross Crystal.
Good to be back.
And just refresh everyone's memories, where are you from?
Well, here in Los Angeles, based here in Los Angeles, and I do a broadcast called Showbiz Express on syndicated radio. Airs here in Los Angeles on KNX, 1070 News Radio, and across the country on many of the news talk stations, adult contemporary as well. And we cover both more of the entertainment breaking news, but a lot of the industry news, and here we are smack dab in the middle of the industry.
We're smack dab in the middle. And by the way, I should mention where we currently are. We're at the Beverly Hilton Hotel. We're sitting at the bar. You may hear drinks being shaking in the background. That's drinks being made. I'm kind of pretending we're at the Cheers bar where Sam Malone might have walked by.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the monitor in the back, and I'm thinking, this could be a newsroom, and someday all newsrooms would look like this. But
right. Well, you remember the old days of television. You'd watch an episode of the Mary Tyler Moore Show, and Mr. Grant would call Mary in to take out his bottle of booze and offer her a drink. Can you imagine that in today's office environment?
You'd be out of business very, very quickly.
Well, now Mary and Mr. Grant are binge watching Netflix.
Which is where we left off.
We were talking about Netflix. We were talking about binge watching, and actually an interesting question at one of the sessions was, what do you call binge watching when you don't actually sit and watch the whole season? Maybe you watch 4 episodes. Is it semi-binge watching?
That's what I do. I'm a semi-binge watcher. I'm not a full binger.
Right.
Because I like some of that anticipation. It's like, okay, enough tonight. Let me get the full, I want to feel more of the anticipate, I want to think about it, and then go back to it. But I see why it's a great way. The bottom line is you do it on your terms, and that's a great thing, Mark. I really do believe it is. I'll tell you what is missing. What is missing, we mentioned it yesterday, the Who Shot JR, if you go back to the old Dallas, there is no going over to the water cooler the next day. Because I might have seen it, you might not have seen it. But eventually it does get around the water, eventually. And then the other side is, oh yeah, I saw the end. Well then shut up.
Well, I'm disappointed with Netflix, because I was certain Netflix or one of the other streaming services would have picked up Dallas after TNT canceled it. I think that would have been a good thing for Netflix. You would have older viewers who don't traditionally watch it that may want to see it and would check it out and say, hey, Netflix is great, I'm going to come back. But they didn't pick it up. Too bad.
Well,
but they picked up Longmire from A&E.
And really, Netflix, no question, not only has broken the mold, they continue to chart new territory, and they have others catching up. That's a pretty good spot to be.
I think it's great. Now, let me ask you a question. We're here talking about television. Actually, today, which is really tomorrow, we're kind of lying, but cable's going to be here for, I think, 3 or 4 days. Then we have, this runs until August 13th.
Yeah, this is a long haul.
It's a long haul. What do you watch on television? What do you like?
Partially because I'm in the industry, I have to keep up with things.
I
check things out. But I do like network television. I do think The Good Wife is a very not only well produced show. It's a great show. Newsroom was one of my favorites. Jeff Daniels is nominated again. But House of Cards. You see where my I think we're still up. For some reason, I thought we went dark for a second.
No, we're still here.
I do think James Spader has Blacklist. These are shows that I believe that are competing with what's on the Netflix. They're really quality shows.
Well, the thing about the broadcast network,
Masters of Sex is a great show.
That's a great show, but I think it's more challenging for a broadcast network to get the kind of buzz about the shows that you'll get on cable or really now on these streaming services. And I think that has a lot to do with, content restrictions. But The Good Wife is a show that's gotten a lot of attention. I think The Blacklist, in my opinion, went through a bit of a sophomore slump creatively.
Maybe, arguably, yes. And then it's come back. I said this yesterday. Mark will usually be the bigger critic, and I'll usually say, it's not a bad show, unless it's really. And those shows that are quality shows, The Blacklist, there are a number that are coming out. And by the way, you can put Scandal in that. It's not the same, but boy, I was very surprised it didn't do what I thought it was going to do otherwise. There's shows on network that are good, but you know what? the cables, the premium cables, have the upper hand. They have no commercials.
Right.
They can say things and do things you can't always with network television.
Exactly.
And now, with the Netflix et al., oh my gosh, you can do it, you can see it, and there really is, the creativity is sky's the limit. And I think that's wonderful.
I think it is wonderful. I mean, it went back to, in the early days of cable, when cable really was rising, and HBO was rising, and Showtime, and FX got into the game. They were really doing the kind of shows, those meaty, the kind of shows you really couldn't do on a broadcast network. For example, I always use this as a classic case point. A show like The Sopranos couldn't do it on a broadcast network. The broadcasters tried doing mob dramas, they never worked. But HBO could do Sopranos.
And they did it. The other thing too is you have to see Scandal or tape it or DVR that day, and it really goes away very, very, very quickly. Whereas, just thinking, Louis, I've been watching it, it's a great, great show. Yes. But I find myself coming back to it. I don't see it all. I'll see it on. That gives me an idea of what the Netflix, all these new shows that are coming. I'm not going to see them right away, but I am going to get around to them, and they're there when you want them.
Yes.
I think on-demand programming not only is a big thing in the wave of the future down the road, it should be that way. It's kind of
I agree.
It's a good thing.
And I'll go as far as saying, a lot of people will debate that network television is going to fall through the cracks. I don't think so. It's not going to happen. You can't. Here's the deal. A show like NCIS, now look, it's not a sexy show, it has an older audience, but it's still going to bring in 18, 19 million viewers, and that's just based on live the same day.
Let me ask you
You're not going to get that anywhere else.
Let me ask you a question. I think you know the answer to all of it. What is the #1 show in the world?
It's NCIS.
There's your answer.
Totally. But here's the thing with an NCIS, and that's really the genre in particular, or like a CSI type show, a Law and Order. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's self-contained. So you watch it, you could in one sitting, you have bad guys at the end of the episode. You
feel satisfied.
You feel satisfied. As opposed to, there was a time when the serialized drama format, like in the old days of Dallas Knots Landing, that kind of fell to the wayside. People they didn't want them anymore because they didn't repeat well. Now, with this whole concept of binge watching, it's coming back and it's really very prevalent. But so this is a business that has peaks and valleys, ups and downs. Things change by the dime. But I will still say, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face, and I am a little blue based on this camera. I mean, the lighting here, whatever, it's a little strange. I mean, we're not, the quality on this is not A+, but it's effective. Because I get people like you. I'm still going to say, I'm going to go out on a limb and say network television is still your place to get the most eyeballs. Not necessarily the best eyeballs, but the most eyeballs.
Where are you going to get, and the numbers are somewhere in, where are you going to get a group of 22 million to watch a show like American Idol when it was at its height?
You are not going to get that anywhere else. And you know what? You're not. It's not going to happen. And let's say American Idol in its heyday was running on Netflix. You wouldn't know how many people watch it.
Correct. So as an advertiser, which brings us back to that, which we didn't touch on, as an advertiser, I want to get my message out, and I know that 22 million people are watching Idol or whatever show, and that makes me want to put my message out. Totally. But that's a different thing. See, the way I look at it is there's room for everybody. So the business model for Netflix and the others that are in that business are, I'm not going to present my widget on there. I'm not going to present my cola on there because I can't put a spot in. I don't know their numbers. The question is, what does it matter? It's an interesting question. So then, does that not become moot what their numbers are?
Yes and no, but at some point...
I know you can't. It's like a drug for me.
It's a drug for me because what? My drug every morning is getting, I still look at the overnight ratings. A lot of people think it's obsolete. To me, the overnights give you a precursor of what you can expect when the other data streams come in. You want to get an idea. What frustrates me enormously is the fact that you don't know how these shows are doing. It's all perception. Yes, it's great that people say, I love Orange is the New Black. We don't see any numbers. But I understand it's not advertiser supported, so I get that.
Can you imagine in the day when Mad Men was the real Mad Men?
Right.
And they were going through all their advertising. Can you imagine if you told them one day, 45 years from now, you're just going to be a place where you're never going to put that cold or you're never going to put that car on.
Crazy.
They would say that can't be.
Now, back in those days, when the real Mad Men was on, and I'm going to end it on this note, but I hope you'll come back and join me because this is terrific. In those days, back in the 60s, I mean, what was the #1 show? It might have been...
Bewitched?
Bewitched in its heyday was #2. Okay?
He knows
I
all
know
of this
that.
stuff.
But #1, it
just
could have been Gunsmoke, it could have been Bonanza. But here's the point. In those days, when you were #1, you had like 35, 40 million viewers. Nobody knew what a demographic was. They didn't care. And another thing about Bewitched is that was the first really big show on ABC.
Yeah.
Really big hit show. Now,
it was sponsored by Chevrolet. I remember.
Okay, on a final note, since you brought up Bewitched, I'm going to have to ask you. We have to debate this very quickly. Which did you like better, Bewitched or I Dream of Jeannie?
Oh, wow. That's I guess I favored I Dream of Jeannie at the time.
Right.
By reading Larry Hagman. That's a great quote, but Bewitched, I mean, they're equally fantastic shows. And their sponsors were equally happy on both sides.
I'm sure. Okay, Ross, let's have a trivia. Let's have a trivia question.
Yeah.
Which was on longer, Bewitched or I Dream of Jeannie?
I'm going to guess Bewitched because they had the 3 different husbands.
You are correct.
Husbands.
Bewitched aired for 8 seasons, and I Dream of Jeannie was 5 seasons.
Was it 2 different husbands? Dick Sargent, Dick York?
It was Dick York and Dick Sargent. Dick York left after 5 seasons, and Dick Sargent came in.
So I was right.
You were right.
I win the Berman Trivia.
You win the trivia. There's no prize, but congratulations. And thank you very much for joining me.
My pleasure.
And I hope you'll come back.
I will return. I will be back, and I enjoy it. Thank you.
I am Mark Berman, and you are Ross Christie. And we thank you very much. And we're going to head back into Netflix. Take care, and thank you very much.
Okay.
See you later.